What's up, YouTube? So before we get started on this video, on First Take, they're going to talk about the Los Angeles Lakers and how probably at the end of the season, they're going to fire Luke Walton. They're going to let him go. Me personally, I like Luke Walton. You know, he's an ex-Laker who participated in getting jewelry for LA. He won a few rings. I think 1 or 2 rings. I can't remember. But I think he did a good job for what was on his plate. So he had to deal with LeBron James, all the drama that comes with him not talking to him when he first got there, got to the team and disrespecting him, which was disrespectful by LeBron not talking to your head coach when he first get there. And he was dealing with 95% of his team almost being traded and knowing that they're still going to be traded, have to deal with those type of attitudes, having to deal with not being able to scout out and recruit some of the best talent in the NBA right now with Anthony Davis. He couldn't come because of contracts or whatever the situation was that. He couldn't. They couldn't get Paul George because Paul George probably didn't want to play with LeBron. So he's in OKC. He's in OKC balling right now. Paul George is balling right now in OKC. Can you imagine if he was with LA right now? Can you imagine? And also, Luke Walton had to deal with, a bunch of other a myriad of things. I forgot what I was talking about. But anyways, I like Luke Walton, and let's see what else they have to say.
Understand, Luke Walton actually did a really good job developing these players. Ingram's shown he can play. So is Ball. So is Kuzma. All of those guys have value. So
that's true. I agree with Jalen on that. I think Luke Walton did do a good job in getting those players better, stepping up their game, getting the second-year players up to par of what it means to be a Laker, what it means to be playing in the league, what it means to be a professional. So I think Luke Walton did a good job in getting his players along. I think he did a great job with that. It's just, like I said, he has a full plate. But let's keep going.
It's hard. The problem is the collection of the pieces don't fit. And this is what LeBron also has to pay attention to being in Los Angeles. As we've all lived there and Stephen A's there right now, he could be the first MVP-level player on their team to not win a championship. That's not
Elgin Baylor. Elgin Baylor was the first, so he'd be the second.
Right.
Yep. Elgin retired the year they won, but he never got there.
How about this? In 50 years then.
Yeah.
So that's a major problem right there. So you're taking a major chance if you come to LA and be a Laker and you don't win a championship, especially if you consider yourself the GOAT. Because it doesn't matter what you did with the other teams. Your resume resets when you become a Laker. And if you don't win, some people might say that that's worse than if you come to LA and you don't win a championship. That's worse than being 3-6 in the finals. Being a Laker, winning, that's a big ordeal. The people in LA are used to winning. And LeBron found that out. But I'm sure he knows. He's been told. I'm sure Magic told him, look, if you're gonna come to LA, you're gonna have to win now. Okay, you're gonna have to get some jewelry, or it's not gonna look good. For you owe me, because I helped bring you in here. But let's continue on.
Okay, so what's going to happen is the dynamics of the relationship with the public is going to change with the team. Because guess all the purple and gold fans want to do is win the championship. That's all they care about. So they don't care about the 2 that was won in Miami. They don't care about the 1 that was won in Cleveland. That's why Luke is going to end up losing his job. And don't be surprised if he coaches the UCLA Bruins next.
That's exactly what the word is.
So I'm happy for that. I like that. I like that. Luke Walton ending up being the head coach of the UCLA Bruins. I like that. I think he'll be a great fit for the UCLA Bruins and we know he knows how to win. I think just at this point in time, the Lakers there's just too much on his plate for him to be successful as a head coach for the Lakers. So I think seeing him going over to UCLA, I think that'd be his perfect tone, his perfect fit. Because we know he knows how to win. So he won 1 or 2 rings with the Lakers with Kobe. So he knows how to win there. And he's won 1 ring with the Golden State Warriors. So he knows how to win. And at one point, he was head coach of the Golden State Warriors when Steve Kerr was out. So he knows how to win. I think UCLA would be a great fit for him. And who knows? Who knows what will happen? He might be able to sign the youngest ball boy because he's a senior right now in high school. So who knows? He might wind up going to UCLA, playing with Luke. You know, that whole Laker, LA, California connection. You never know what might happen. You never know. So let's continue on.
out here that he'll be coaching UCLA next season. That's number one. Number two, when we talk about Magic and we talk about LeBron, I've been saying this for a long time. You come to Los Angeles, you come to Tinseltown to wear that purple and gold. He will be the first marquee guy outside of Elgin Baylor. And by the way, the Lakers won the championship in 72, the year Elgin Baylor retired. He just retired, a few games into that very season that they had won the championship. Had he been on that team, had he stayed on that team and not retired, he actually would have had a ring.
LeBron might have been better off not coming to LA coming to such a powerhouse and just stayed where he was at or going to another team and had his 3 and 6. And then some people might be able to argue that he's the GOAT. I don't, as you guys already know. I don't think he's the GOAT at all. Not even close. But some people might argue, okay, he could still be the GOAT. But since he's come to LA with their record of 3 and 6 in the finals, and he comes to LA and doesn't win, you're definitely not the GOAT. You're definitely not the GOAT. You come to LA and you can't win, you'll be the first MVP type player, superstar, and you don't get a ring in LA? You gambled and you lost, player. You gambled and you lost. So let's continue on and see what else they have to say.
Particular year, but LeBron James would be the one guy that doesn't have a chip. On one hand, particularly when you talk to his camp, and I'm gonna call him out on this. You talk to him, like, man, we came here to win a championship. That's what we came here to do. You know what? This is 1 year. We still got 3 years to go. That's one position that they take.
Let me cut off Stephen A. So with that position right there, talking about, well, this is only 1 year. We have 4 more years on our contract. It doesn't work that way in LA. It doesn't work that way. Now is the time to be winning. It doesn't matter if you have a 100-year contract. We want to win today. As a matter of fact, we wanted to win yesterday. So that, we have 4 more years. We have time to get it up. And no. We want to win. Lakers were winning championships in the 70s. Lakers were winning championships in the 80s. Lakers were winning championships in the 90s. What was that? 99 to 2000 that Kobe and Shaq won it? Or 2001? I can't remember. But in the 2000s, so every 10 years, the Lakers want to win. So there is no wait. There is no wait. We got 3 years. No, we want to win now. We're spoiled, like I've said before. But I don't want to get wild up. So let's continue on with what Stephen A has to say.
The other position that they take, there's nothing that should tarnish or taint his legacy. Well, I got news for you, Jalen. I'm a little bit different in that regard. You go to the finals 8 straight years in an Eastern Conference that people have lamented was considerably weaker than the West. And then you finally take yourself out to the Western Conference, and the very year you get there, you go from going to 8 straight NBA Finals to not even making the playoffs. It's not like you went to the playoffs and lost. You didn't even make the playoffs. That is a very, very glaring.
So once again, Stephen A is correct. That means something. So in the Western Conference Finals, you were able to make it to the finals 8 years in a row. 8 years in a row. You didn't just make the playoffs, but you made it to the finals 8 years in a row. But then when you get out of the East, when everybody knows the East is weak and you were feeling like Superman, the first year you come over to the West, the first year you come over and be a Laker, you can't even make the playoffs, and you had the same caliber team that you've had from last year when you made it to the finals, and possibly the year before that. You have the same type of team, and your first year out of the Eastern Conference, you can't make the playoffs. You can't even make the playoffs. That means something. You're playing exactly into what everybody said. They're saying you can't even do it because you can't win outside of the Eastern Conference, and that's exactly what's happening. That's equal to saying when people were saying Kobe can't win without Shaq. What Kobe do? He stepped it up. He won 2 rings without Shaq. Not 1, but 2. He won 2 of them. And he won it with trash. I'm sorry. The best person on his team was maybe Paul Gasol. And he was soft too. And maybe Meta World Peace. Meta World Peace was a beast. I don't want to disrespect him. He was cool. But Kobe did it. People talk all about Kobe. Kobe, can he do it? Can he do it? He did it twice. So this is equal to LeBron leaving the East where it's easy and coming to where it's hard in the Western Conference Finals with the Lakers, and he can't even make the playoffs. He's playing into what everybody says. And to add insult to injury, he may not even, if he wasn't playing in the Eastern Conference his whole time, if he would have been playing in somewhere in the West, he may not even made it to the finals, just like what's happening now. He may not even made it to the finals, let alone make the playoffs. So he might not even be the LeBron that everybody thinks he is. He might not be the LeBron that some people say he's the GOAT. Because if he was playing with some real ballers in the West, he may not even made it. He may not even made it to the playoffs, let alone gone to the finals and won. He's playing exactly into what everybody was saying. So let's carry on.
Thing that people are going to bring up about LeBron, and there's no escaping that.
Let's be honest. Who's the GM of the team? Let's be honest about this. LeBron.
No, Max, let's be honest. Who's playing? Because what it boils down to is who's playing. What it boils down to is you called yourself the GOAT. You said you're the best player of all time, and you can't get it done. That's what it boils down to. That's what happens when you call yourself the GOAT. You call yourself the greatest of all time. You don't get to blame anybody else. You don't get to blame the coaching staff. You don't get to blame management. You don't get to blame the owner. There is none of that, Max. When you're the GOAT, when you claim you're the GOAT, it all falls on you, baby. Because if you were to win, it all come to you. So since now that you're losing, it's all going to come to you. MJ never cried about that. Well, he never had to because he's a winner. And neither did Kobe because he's a winner. But let's carry on.
LeBron will get the coach he wants. It'll be Ty Lue or someone else he wants.
Probably not Ty Lue.
Okay, well.
Again, I don't mean to interrupt, but Ty Lue, I could run with Ty Lue. He's an ex-Laker for one. So he's automatically got a few points with me. He's an ex-Laker. But on the other hand, LeBron might want the catfish because he can just push him around. That's what he did when he was in Cleveland. LeBron was really running the show when he was in Cleveland, playing for Cleveland. Tyronn Lue, he wasn't necessarily. I'd say it was maybe 90-10. 90 to LeBron in charge, running things, calling plays. So he might want the catfish to come on over back to LA and go ahead so he can push him around and run the show. Get rid of Luke. Yes, the catfish. Tyronn Lue, the catfish. All right, let's keep going.
It'll be someone like
Ty Lue would like
off on all this.
Ty Lue would like the job. I just want to let you know, Ty Lue would like the job. He doesn't want to be an assistant. His health is good. He would like the job if it were offered to him. But I'm also hearing that Doc Rivers may potentially be pursued. And obviously the one guy that Magic and LeBron would love most is Mike Krzyzewski. But nobody thinks that that's a job that he would ever take. Those are the three names you need to keep your eyes on.
LeBron is going to sign off on whoever it is, or the guy won't be the coach. And that's it.
Well, that goes without saying, Max. Of course LeBron's going to sign off on the head coach of the team that he's going to be playing with. Hasn't he always? And if he doesn't like you, he's going to get rid of you. He's going to start crying and bitching and all that instead of stepping up the plate and taking responsibility of how a GOAT would do. He's going to point fingers and get the coach fired. Get his players, get his teammates fired. So, of course, LeBron's going to sign off on whatever head coach he wants. Let's continue going. But I bet you LeBron won't play those games with Popovich. I bet you he won't do that. Let's keep going.
Goes the same thing for the roster guys. The bottom line about the Lakers and this season is LeBron and his people, Stephen A., can legitimately say, hey, we got 4 years to win a chip. I agree with them. But you can't have it both ways. If you needed this year to figure out what you needed, who you liked, who was the keeper, who was the one who was going to be traded, which clearly LeBron will also weigh in on. It ain't going to be trading players he wants to keep, core pieces. I'm not talking about KCP, who signed with the same. I'm talking about like Lonzo Ball or someone like that. They're not going to be trading guys he wants to keep and keeping guys he wants gone.
And I don't mean to interrupt, but I'm going to interrupt again one more time. Well, probably more times. But anyways, so I think if Lonzo Ball would have panned out and been what everybody thought it would be, even though he has super high expectations because of his dad and all that, I bet you if Lonzo Ball came in and he was balling and he was everything that people thought he would be, mixed with LeBron, I bet you it'd be a different story. I know Lonzo Ball's young and everything that goes along with that, but I bet you it would just have a different motivating factor. The morale would be different if now you have, okay, we got the number one pick. He's coming in. He's doing a good job. He's balling. He's doing his part. Okay, now we have LeBron James. He's fitting in nicely. We're winning still. Or, and they play good with each other. They complement each other. I think it would be a different story if Lonzo Ball was balling. I don't want to blame Lonzo Ball because he's too young and everything that goes along with that. And he's doing the best he can. I'm hoping, but I bet you it'd be a different story if Lonzo Ball was balling out. But anyways, let's keep going.
Right, but if that's the case, then he truly is responsible for this team the way a GM is.
Jalen, can I throw a couple of things out before you go, Jalen?
Sure.
First of all, add Mark Jackson to that list as well, because there are people that think he warrants consideration, and Jason Kidd. Okay, those are the 5 names. You got Ty Lue. You got Doc Rivers, you got Mike Krzyzewski, you got Mark Jackson, you got Jason Kidd. Those are the names you're hearing. I'm hearing more so Doc Rivers. Jalen, the reason I'm coming to you is because of this. Just a fantasy from a perspective. Magic Johnson complained about what at the beginning of the season when he met with Luke Walton? He complained about your staff. So let's say, for example, you go after Doc Rivers, who has the license to get out of his deal with the Clippers after this year, even though the Clippers are feeling pretty good about themselves because they don't have a star and they got space. They plan on having space for 2 max players. Okay, so you might want to stay there, but let's say, for example, you wanted to leave. You, Doc Rivers. Ty Lue doesn't want to be an assistant, but if Doc said, I need you, you think he'd turn it down? Tom Thibodeau is without a job. Who was the defensive coordinator, Jalen Rose, for the Boston Celtics when they won the title in 2008 under Doc Rivers? That's Tom Thibodeau. And, of course, Brian Shaw. The Lakers love him. So the potential is there if you want to fantasize about a coaching staff with Doc Rivers as your head coach, Thibodeau and Lue as your assistants, along with Brian Shaw. Magic Johnson wouldn't complain about that coaching staff.
And I don't mean to interrupt again, but are we going to just ignore that last night LeBron just gave up on defense and that a second-year player, Kyle Kuzma, had to push him to get on defense? I mean, in what world would you imagine the greatest player of all time in basketball would have to be pushed by a second-year player to get over and play defense? I almost got physically sick when I saw that. When I saw that Kyle Kuzma had to push LeBron James into going over and playing defense, and you're supposed to be the GOAT, you're supposed to be the greatest player in the NBA right now, and you have a second-year man who's probably going to get traded because Kyle's probably going to get traded. And he's out there working hard and busting his ass, and he has to push the guy that's not going anywhere, the guy that's supposed to be the GOAT, the guy that's supposed to be the best player in the NBA right now, the best player on the Lakers, and he has to be pushed like a small child, like a junior high school basketball player. He has to be pushed to go over and play defense and stop pouting. Can you imagine MJ doing something like that? Because I can't. Can you imagine Kobe Bryant having to be pushed to go play defense so blatantly? MJ would never do anything like that. Kobe would never do anything like that. There's some scrub players that come off the bench that wouldn't do anything like that. That's an embarrassment. That is an embarrassment. As a matter of fact, for something like that, that's so bad, I think LeBron James should cash in one of his rings. So now he only has 2 rings. He's 2-7 now. LeBron's 2-7. That's what happens when you don't play defense, LeBron. You cash up, you give up one of your rings. Let's keep going.
That much I can tell you. Stay tuned. We'll see what happens.
You better get someone to shoot the
ball.
ball.
Go ahead, Jalen.
Absolutely. And Stephen A., you've named like 10,000 coaches for the Lakers. Here's the thing. You got to pay attention to the fact that they're already paying Luke Walton $7 million. They're not going to go out and pay another coach $7+ million to coach their basketball team and next year be paying that position $14 million. So that's a way for everybody to look at it. So these big name coaches, yeah, they have a lot of cachet. Like Coach K, that'll never happen. Doc Rivers, they're not going to want to pay him. So it's going to be interesting to see if a guy like Ty Lue or Mark Jackson are going to come in at less than.
So I would say with the Lakers, I don't think money would be an issue. If they could find a coach, a head coach, and that they know they feel confident with, I don't think the price won't be an issue because the payback on the back end to win a championship to get back being to what the Lakers are, $7 million is nothing. That's a drop in the bucket. And of course, people keep talking about Tyronn Lue, the catfish. Of course, he'll want to come play with LeBron. Of course, he'll want to come play with LeBron. Of course, he'll want to come back to the Lakers and be part of a dynasty game if they can get it going. And, you know that LeBron's going to be pushing him around. So I think Tyronn Lue's probably a little timid. I don't think Herro probably coming in and probably be taking a pay cut. There's just too much on the table. It just looks too good to play with LeBron again, where you already won a championship, to be back with the Laker organization again, because he won a ring there. I do believe Tyronn Lue did. But it's just too much. It's too good of a deal to come, especially if you have to take a pay cut. I think Tyronn Lue would do it. Plus, they're close to the ocean. You know, Catfish loves the ocean. Anyway, just keep going.
What they actually deserve, while Luke Walton is still getting paid the lion's share of the dough from the franchise.
I completely hear where you're coming from, Jalen. Just so you know, I asked those questions. I was told that would not be an issue.
And here's another thing I want to make sure I point out to you, Max. You talked about LeBron having 4 years to win a chip. He's in his 16th season, okay? Now let me forecast a little bit. They're not getting Anthony Davis this offseason.
That's right.
You know why? Because the Pelicans will not trade them to him. That's not happening.
Correct.
They're not going to get Kevin.
And I don't blame him, Jalen. I don't blame him. Because what are the Pelicans going to get in exchange, that's being even remotely even exchange, for Anthony Davis? What are they going to get from LA? They already offered damn near 95% of the team, first round draft picks? All types of stuff. I don't blame them. The Pelicans all they can get is trash from LA. All they can get is freaking trash. That's it. So let's keep going.
They're not going to get Kawhi Leonard. So who out there is going to be that 1A to LeBron next year that puts them in position
Klay
to get
Thompson,
closer
Jimmy
to
Butler, Kemba Walker. There are a lot of Kyrie Irving. There are a lot of guys available.
Kyrie Irving can't leave LeBron in Cleveland and go join him in LA.
Yes,
that would be a weak move.